Hello, Legatus Legionis. My name is Thomas, and I am a man of prayer. I've spent most of my life in prayer, and I have some experience when it comes to fasting. Um, right now, this is the sixth day of my seven-day fast. And on this fast, it's pretty much been a straight fast, although I have been drinking lemon and honey water for my throat because I'm live streaming every day and I spend a lot of time talking. And I was having a low potassium problem yesterday, so I ate some dill pickles. I'm getting a little older, I guess. I've done a 10-day fast before. I know people have done longer, and I think I could have kept going. But this isn't about marathon fasting. This is about prayer and fasting. What is the value of prayer and fasting from my experience? My experience has been that if you really want to intensify getting closer to the Lord and you're doing good on the prayer thing, if you add fasting to it, it takes it to a whole nother level. Okay. And for instance, I have found that by the third day of a fast, after about 2 days, after about 48 hours into the third day, and that's also, they say that something happens to how you're metabolizing food at that point. Um, I actually know a little bit about that, but that's not really the point. The point is spiritually speaking, after about the third day, your your connection with God increases. Okay, you will have a better connection with God. But how does fasting do on the solving of problems? Okay, I use prayer to solve problems all the time. All right. Now, sometimes it's God's will and sometimes it's not. That has been my experience. Many times, though, especially when I'm fighting against some sort of a demonic oppression, where the devil's messing with your life, prayer and fasting has been very, very important in overcoming demonic interference, let's just say. And so a lot of times, you're like doing your thing and you're trying to do the best that you can and nothing seems to be working out. And that happens to me a lot. And when that happens, fasting certainly becomes, with prayer, a a possible option in overcoming those situations. Now, it is a fact that I spend an enormous a lot of time in prayer when my vehicle broke down in Waco, and I did. I went from morning till evening constantly praying. I prayed to get a job, that didn't happen. I prayed to be set free from my situation, that didn't happen. What happened was is I was stuck behind the church in Waco, which was called Sacred Heart. I was stuck behind the church there in my little green truck for over 2 years. And God used that. So it doesn't mean that my prayer was a failure. It just means that what I wanted wasn't God's will. So I didn't receive what I was praying for, but I received great graces. And what happened was, yes, I was living in my truck outside the back of Sacred Heart Parish, but the people's generosity in the parish sustained me. And the priest let me live there, believe it or not. And of course, that's in my whole story. I've recorded videos. You'll see many of my older videos were from that time period. Um, but there had been many times when life was getting extremely difficult. And I'm talking about even when I had caused it upon myself. You know, when you like mess up and life is really harming you, or you're getting paid back. And I found that prayer and fasting was a very powerful tool in making that situation better, and many times changing bad situations that I was in. So I heartily recommend prayer and fasting. And even if it's not for 3 days or more, you know, if you got the time and you're healthy, and this video is not health advice, and it's not, I'm not telling anyone to fast unless they are healthy, you know. And if you're unsure about your health, you need to ask a doctor if it's okay for you to do that. Uh, I don't want to be liable for telling somebody to fast and they get sick. I'm not in the best of shape right now, and I'm on my 6th day of a fast, okay? And I actually think it's doing my health some good. But I have heard of a story of a brother that I met at a Benedictine monastery who was doing a part of a community fast, and he had diabetic issues, and they had to rush him to the hospital, okay? So people with diabetes or eating disorders or things like that, you know, um, maybe this kind of fasting is not for you. There are ways of sacrificing, which I will not be covering on this video, because this video is about fasting. But there are other ways to sacrifice that are also good. But fasting is the greater way, and it has always been a part of the church, and it has always been a great way, prayer and fasting, to overcome demonic issues. Okay? You know, anyone who has a real prayer life, anyone who's striving for perfection or striving to do the will of God, you know, however you put it, if you're wondering why, when you started praying that life got harder, it is because of the demonic. It's very simple. You know, you increased your prayer and you increased your pursuit of God. You increased what you were doing before, and all hell broke loose. Okay? I think that's one of the reasons why fasting and prayer and fasting are a part of the weapons of the Christian, and that we need to use that weapon. You know, if you've never done it before, you should try it. You should try and see what you experience. Of course, we're in the time of Lent right now. I'm releasing this video around Lent. And actually, it's the second day of Lent, you know, Ash Wednesday. It's the Thursday after Lent. And, you know, you're supposed to be doing some kind of a fast on Fridays. For those that are healthy, you know, healthy adults, not children, you know, not students, but students can do it too. They don't have to. They're dispensated. I don't understand that one. Students could benefit a lot from fasting. My advice is that you could do some fasting. It's not going to kill you. You could skip lunch. Skipping lunch, I think, is a really, really good idea on Fridays of Lent, you know, and it's a part of what we're supposed to be doing during Lent. We're supposed to be doing that on Fridays during Lent, you know, and then in the evening eat some fish, keeping in the guidelines of the church. So in the evening eat some kind of a fish. Don't eat meat, you know, but during lunch, skip lunch. And don't do this thing where you like eat at 11 but skip lunch at 12. Come on. That's not fasting. You know, do breakfast early. Do it at 8 or 7, at the latest 9. And then no lunch, and then don't have anything to eat till the evening, after 5 o'clock, you know. And and do that on Fridays. It'll make a difference. It not only will make a difference for you, it'll make a difference for the church. Let's not, okay, let's work at not doing things just for ourselves. Accept, this is my advice, accept what brings us closer to the Lord Jesus Christ. And fasting will help you to do that, by the way. Even that amount of fasting on Fridays will help you to do that. Okay? This is Legatus Legionis trying to share his experience with fasting. Say a prayer for me. I am praying for you. I'll talk to you later.